Welcome to my life. Love him. All right. Hi everyone, it's Amanda. Today I'm going to be doing my favorite video ever, which is my most anticipated books list for the second half of the year. Now, I personally love indie romance, so I don't have everything on this list that will be coming out because indie romance authors love to spring it on ya at the last second. But a lot of my favorite authors did announce their releases, so I'm really excited for the second half of the year. I think it's going to be amazing, especially the fall. Yes, a lot of these will be offered on Kindle Unlimited. I'll try to put an asterisk in the description if they are on KU. Be sure to like and subscribe down below if you like romance books like me. And let's just get into the books. So the first book I'm still counting towards this video because it comes out July 29th. It is Desecrated Saints by J. Rose. This is the third book in the Blackwood Institute trilogy, so it's the final installment. In this series, we follow Brooklyn. She is in a mental health facility because she is believed to have murdered somebody, and she has a lot of demons that she's dealing with because of that trauma and memory. So she gets transferred to Blackwood Institute, which is a 3-year correctional program where if you complete it, you are free to leave. Except nobody ever leaves. So it's like Shutter Island meets reverse harem, because in this book we follow a reverse harem with Brooklyn and 4 guys that all deal with different mental health issues, and I just loved this book so much. It is such a mindfuck. It seriously plays games with you and it's so good. We have one guy who is just in there because his brother's in there, so he like volunteers. And he's like the first one she meets. He's the sweet one. Then we have his brother, who is someone from her past. And then we have 2 other guys. One of them's my favorite, and it's just so good. It's just so good. I freaking love it. And I'm really excited for the third installment, Desecrated Saints. The second one is actually my favorite because the author did a huge study on the Zimbardo experiment, and it's a real life prison study. And it is wild, but she took inspiration from real life events. I have just loved the series so far, so I'm really excited to see how it ends for our characters. And yeah, the playlist is really good in this one. There's a lot of rock, and I'm not usually a rock girl, but for certain things, Eddie Munson, I will be a rock girl. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Then we have another one of my favorite series coming out with the next book, which is Love Me by Ashley Rostek. This is another third installment. And I promise we're getting standalones. I see you, I hear you. But you need to read this series too, okay? Find Me is the first one. We follow our girl Shiloh. She has a lot of demons as well. There is a trend. But this one follows a girl who her whole family was murdered in front of her, and her stalker was out for her, but he murdered her family. He's still alive and remains unknown, and she is in the witness protection program, and she's living in Arizona now. She bought her own house, and she's just on the run, trying to stay away from this guy. And while she's in Arizona, she meets her next door neighbors, who are, guess what? Another reverse harem, but they're all brothers. So it is just so glorious. And there's so much suspense in this one. And in the last book, we left off on a huge cliffhanger. So now we have 3 installments in this series. So you need to binge and let me know how you like it, because I love this series so much. Then on August 23rd, we of course have Love on the Brain by Hazelwood. This one everybody wants to read, so I won't go too much into it. It is enemies to lovers workplace romance. I hear it is a lot like The Love Hypothesis, very, very similar. So I'm excited to give it a shot and hopefully enjoy it. Then we have Mercy by Sarah Cate coming out August 25th. This is a standalone in her Salacious Players Club series, and we follow a reverse age gap, and I think I know the characters for it, so I'm really excited. I've been loving this series. Even if I'm not a fan of the tropes that are in it, I'm still gonna read all of the books in the series because I just have loved them so much. And I really appreciate these books are very heavy on the steam, but they follow some deeper topics in terms of mental health and just themes overall. So I've just really been loving that. There's some more depth to my smutty good time. Then on August 28th, we have Madhouse by Liza James coming out. This one I'm super excited for because it is a female-female stepsister trope. Shut up. Shut up. I'm so ready. Also, it follows this really fucked up cult slash covenant thing where one of the sisters is stuck in this kind of cult and then the other sister got out and escaped. So I don't know how they're gonna come back together or like what's going on, but the aesthetics of this book look amazing. Liza James has done a great job of marketing it, and so I will pick it up and I will let you know if it's good. Then September is probably my favorite month because we have so many good ones, guys. We have so many good ones. So the first one is Bone Island by Nicole Fiorina, which is the second book in her Weeping Hollow series, and it's going to be so good. I read Hollow Heathens in the fall last year, so I've been waiting a whole year for this book to come out and I cannot wait for it. It just has such good atmosphere and just there's this fantasy element to it and this witchy element to it. The setting is this town that doesn't let you go. So once you're in it, it doesn't let you go, and we have these men who are cursed, and if you see their face, you will die. And then our main character, she sees one of their faces, of course, and doesn't die. So what's going on? But you see your worst fear when you look at them. And of course, she falls in love with one of the cursed guys, and it is such a good time. Then we have The Beginning of Us by Liza James. This is one that I saw recently that is going to be coming out. This one is going to be a love triangle and have some first love aspect. I know a lot of people love Liza James. I have not tried any of her books before. So if you have one that I should try, let me know. But this one will be coming out, and I love love triangles. I feel like they're kind of out of style now, but I used to love them so much and I'm down to read some. They just don't have the ones that hit. You know, like the 2000s just had all the love triangles and I miss it. Then we have Arkana by Runyx coming out September 27th. This one's going to be a dark gothic historical romance. It's following the same world as Gothicana, so the world of Varenmore and the beginning of the school and the creepiness. She said that it's going to have more of a paranormal tone to it because of the time period, and I don't know, I'm excited for it. I didn't love Gothicana, but I did like the aesthetics of it, especially for the fall. And she said you don't have to read Gothicana before reading this one, but it is suggested if you are interested in that one. Next, we have Losers by Harley larouix, which is an extension of the Dare novella. So this one takes place after the events of the Dare, and she ends up getting involved with a polyamorous relationship with fast cars, BDSM, and a smutty good time, and I cannot wait for it. I love Harley larouix books, and I'm hoping that it hits the spot. Then of course we have The American Roommate Experiment, which is a Sugar and Spice book club pick. Be sure to join our Discord down below if you're interested, but super excited for this one. You'll know this one is a forced proximity, and it follows the best friend from the Spanish Love Deception. So I've been looking forward to this ever since I read the Spanish Love Deception, and I hope that it gives me the same feelings that I had while reading SDL. Then lastly for September, we have Sally Thorne's new release, Angelina Frankenstein Meets Her Match, which is also coming out September 6th, and it is a rom-com where the sister of Frankenstein is trying to create her own man. And yeah, I just think that sounds super fun, and it seems like it's gonna be really funny and just a good time to have during the spooky season. Then for October, I only have 3 books. I have It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, of course. I bought the Waterstone special edition and I can't wait. It follows Atlas's perspective and it's everything we've been waiting for if you've loved It Ends With Us. Then we have the Madigan Mountain series, which I'm really excited for because I think they're all set in Colorado, or at least the mountains, and we have different tropes in each of the books. I think there's 3 books coming out. I know one of them is Devney Perry. I think we also have Serena Bowen and one other author in the mix, but I don't know if they're extending it with more authors as well. I just know I saw it when it was announced way back, and I was like, oh my god, Colorado books are literally my favorite. I don't know why. I don't know. It just is such a vibe to have the mountain men, you know, and these are gonna be mountain men books. Let me actually look up what the first one's trope is. So the first one's called A Little Too Late by Serena Bowen, and it looks like it's going to be a second chance workplace romance by what I see in the summary that I read real quick. Then the second one is called A Little Too Close by Rebecca Yarros, and this one is a small town single parent romance. And then A Little Too Wild is by Devney Perry, and that one is a small town sports romance. So bang, 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 bang. And it's snowboarding. It's snowboarding. Oh, yes, yes. I have never seen a snowboarding romance. I'm so ready. I've never been more ready for that. That's so exciting. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be so good. Oh my God. Winter sports in books. I don't know why it hits different. I don't even like winter sports in real life. You would never catch me on a mountain. I mean, unless Alec and Brent dragged me up there, maybe I would, but they would probably make me break my hands or something. My hands, no, break my wrist. I don't know, break something that happens when you're skiing. Arms, legs, toes, I don't know. I'll break something up there. So Bunny Hill it is for me, but I'd still end up breaking something. Anyway. And then we have another sports romance, Quarterback Sneak by Kandi Steiner. I recently read Blindside for Sugar and Spice Book Club, and oh my God, it was so good. 5 stars, fake dating. It was so freaking good. Such a joy to read. It's those kind of books that just put me in a place where I'm like, wow, I can't believe people don't read. You know what I mean? It's just like, how could you not? So I'm very excited to read Quarterback Sneak, which is going to follow Holden, who I think is the captain of the football team, and the coach's daughter, the new coach's daughter, Julep. And it's going to be so good. I already know it's gonna be good. For November, we have a Kennedy Ryan book coming out, Before I Let Go, and it is coming out November 15th. It's going to be a divorced couple, second chance romance, but of course it's going to have the Kennedy Ryan flavor, and it's going to be emotional. Then we have a fantasy romance by Laura Thalassa called Bewitched. In this one, we follow a girl who is in a plane crash, and she ends up stumbling upon an ancient tomb, where she then stumbles upon a man who she then kisses, who then thinks that she is his long lost wife who betrayed him, who he hates. Yeah. So we have a situation going on. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but that sounds like a good ass time to me, so I'm excited for that. Then lastly, for November, we have Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake, and this one is the second installment companion novel to Delilah Green Doesn't Care, and I loved that book so much. It was a 5-star. In this one, we're following Astrid. She had been the character that had broken off her engagement last book, and so she's going through it right now. But what is the best distraction? Renovating the local hotel. So she gets offered a job to renovate this hotel for a TV series, I think. And while she's doing this, she ends up butting heads with the granddaughter of the owner, or something like that. Somebody's granddaughter. And so we have another romance happening that's going to be forced proximity and kind of enemies-ish. Super excited for it. I really love her character and the arc that she had already, so I can't wait to see her grow even more, and I'm sure Delilah will also be in there. Then for December, we have Anastasia by Sophie Lark, of course. This is Sophie Lark's first fantasy book, and I'm really excited to see what she does with it. Then we also have Penny Reed's second installment in the Three Kings standalone series, and that one is going to be called Drama King. The first one's Homecoming King. That one was fake dating, and it was really good. I really liked it. Don't let the covers fool you. I feel like they are marketed very Christmassy, but the first one was not very Christmassy. It can be read anytime, and it was really like a fun time. So this one I'm also really excited for. It's going to be Client Bodyguard, and we're following Cyrus, which is a character from the first book. So you do get to see glimpses of future characters. Definitely recommend the first book if you're interested. And then of course I have to include 3 Christmas books. Even though I know it's a very small niche, I gotta include the ones that I'm looking forward to. So the first one is by Sarah Ogle. It's called Just Like Magic, and this one just sounds so so cheesy, but also hilarious at the same time. Like if you're in the mood for that type of thing. So we're following our heroine who's like a Scrooge. She is broke, but she came from wealth. So she's broke now, she's miserable. So one day she's playing All I Want for Christmas Is You backwards, something crazy outlandish like that. And a holiday spirit comes, but he's like this hot, cheery, nice guy. And she can't help but kind of have a holiday spirit once he comes into her life. I don't know. I think it's gonna be really fun. We'll see how it is. I do like Sarah Ogle's other books, so I'm interested to see what she does with a Christmas book for sure. Then we have A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. So we have the contemporary romance author mixed with the really spicy book author. So this one's going to be a match made in heaven, and the story follows a adult film star being casted in a rom-com movie. And lastly, we have You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince, which sounds really good as well. It is a male-male romance with forced proximity, and they do not like each other at first. So I don't know if it's enemies to lovers per se, but they at least don't have good energy going on at first. And it says it's like a Schitt's Creek meets Hallmark movie moment. Sign me up for that. So those are the books that I'm really looking forward to. I hope I put some on your radar. And if you have any that you're really looking forward to, let me know down below so I can get some recs. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.